all walked out.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Sunday evening here on Tales from the Grim. Tonight, we will be flying amongst the stars in the Shackleton Expanse with a little Star Trek continuing mission. The continuing mission, of course, is from the Springfield-class USS Athena, NCC 1933. Now, just to Princess Bride and sum up this as quickly as I can, the crew of the USS Athena is stuck inside the Shackleton Expanse, a massive Bermuda Triangle that is encompassing a large segment of the galaxy in the Next Generation era and timeline. They have encountered many strange things in there, including a large Earth-sized sphere that can control a black hole. They have run into 2 Klingon-class warbirds that have harried them, and they have rediscovered their sister ship, the USS Artemis. However, it appears that both the Klingons and the Artemis have spent far longer in the Expanse than they have. Several other things are going on. Q has intervened to both help and hint at things to come for the USS Athena, and also the person known as Khan Noonien Singh, reincarnated in a little series we had before, Perfection Shadow, and he is currently asleep in the med bay of the USS Athena. Just, your normal, everyday Starfleet problems. But right now, the crew has assembled inside the ready room and the meeting room on board the USS Athena, and they are preparing to hear the findings of the science officer of their sister ship. Varilla Evo has been able to uncover many things in her extended time in the Shackleton Expanse, things that she wishes to share with the crew. And so as we start this episode, we will learn what she knows. The crew will learn, as you do, and the questions that will be asked could determine whether or not the crew escapes from the Shackleton Expanse. But we'll see. Let's go around and meet everybody first, see who they're playing, and if they are ready for tonight's episode. Let's start with our newly minted first officer. Lauren, how are you, my friend?
I'm great. Finally, yes, this is my day. I've got a new jacket. That's pretty much what I have to say. I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter, and I'm playing Lieutenant Commander Natalia Nealon, who is half Betazoid, half Tellarite, and all first officer.
Fantastic. And let us drop down to somebody who is all Ferengi. Steve, how are you doing, and who will you be playing, my friend?
How are you doing, buddy? I am playing Ensign Soba. He is right now apparently intoxicated from trying to keep Lieutenant Evo from drinking. So he is halfway to shit face to the moon, I guess. So we'll see how that plays out, and I'm excited for the episode.
Fantastic, my friend. And as we jump over to our chief engineer, Allison, how are you?
Hi, Greg. Hi, Legion. It's Allison. I play Lieutenant Kander Quinn, chief engineer of the USS Athena. I love every second of this. I love every single second of it. There's nothing I don't love. I'm so glad to be back tonight, and I can't wait to see what madness you've cooked up for us to get out of the Shackleton Expanse.
Fantastic, my friend. And because I didn't mention it in my super quick sum up, I will let you know that Allison's character, Lieutenant Kander Quinn, is currently studying for the bridge officer's exam. She is doing remote study because, of course, Shackleton Expanse. And it seems that with the home study kit for Starfleet, you are able to pick and choose your instructors from ages past. And in our last episode, she conversed and was mentored a bit by Captain Jonathan Archer.
Mm-hmm.
But from that captain to our captain, let us go over. Summer, how are you, my friend, and who will you be playing this evening?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. I'm going to be playing Elsie Locke, her captain. She's not stressed, and she's never been stressed. Not once, not ever, not in her whole life. Thank you.
Okay. And with that being said, we are able to drill back down into the USS Athena that is currently parked inside a very dense nebula within the Shackleton Expanse. It is postured or positioned beside the USS Artemis, and it is within the Athena, both the Artemis and the Athena Springfield-class cruisers, which for
Greg?
Yes.
I think you might have maybe forgot somebody? Maybe? I don't know.
Did I? Oh my God, I skipped over Jabez. Jesus. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I was looking at my other thing. We have a science officer, everyone. Hawk, how are you? Who are you be playing? My bad.
This is just par for the course the way that my day's gone so far, as we talked about earlier. I'm Robert Dow, KY Hawkeye on all things social media-ish. I am playing Lieutenant Malachi Jabez, who has joined Trill. He is the science officer, and he is more than eager to see what Evo has to tell us, to find out what kind of tech he's going to need to help get us out of here.
Fantastic, my friend, and sorry about that, Mr. Cellophane. I was so happy with my captain segue that I just jumped you, and that's all it was my own pride. So anyway, as we get back into the nebula with both Springfield-class cruisers that are parked in a waiting pattern hidden here inside the Shackleton Expanse, it is within the USS Athena and the meeting room thereof, where we have all of the senior officers, all of the people that you see around here. In addition, we have NPCs or additional officers created by Chief Brahanu is there. I believe in addition we also have Varilla Evo, but I don't think there's anyone else. Correct me if I'm wrong. Crew, I believe that's the only other cast that we have.
That's it, yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, and at the end of our last episode, Varilla Evo, the lieutenant science officer from the USS Artemis, said that she believed that she knew the way out of the Shackleton Expanse. And with that, would you like to say anything, make any comments or questions, or would you like her to begin?
I'd like to talk about my jacket really briefly.
Sure, let's do that.
Yeah, great. So in character, Nat comes in a snazzy new jacket that is in fact of an older make, but like it's been like fitted with like new stuff, so it's like still technically regulation because she's very proper. Got the collar open though because I'm bad. And yes, it looks very good. Do you say anything, Elsie? Because I'm wearing this jacket.
I stand up and I get on the table and I start clapping for you. How's that? Is that what you want?
Yes, in your heart.
Yeah, in my heart, I stand up on the. I stand up.
This
on
is
the
what you
table.
think is bizarre. Calm, just quiet. Drink from your mug.
Yeah. I think that she just like gives you like a little wink.
Mm.
How's that? Is that good?
Yeah, that's really special. I feel good about it.
Okay, good.
Okay,
By
so
all means, tell us about the Shackleton Expanse and how we get the hell out of it.
Sorry, everybody was briefly distracted. By
yes,
nothing.
everyone
You were
paused.
canon.
There was
Canon.
an awkward, maybe a passionate stare from everybody.
Slow motion, like,
Oh my god.
yeah, whole thing. But she does like it's no big
I
deal.
thought we got those wind drafts taken care of from the air vents.
Right. So as Varilla Evo is standing up before what is, in all intents and purposes, a holographic whiteboard here in this century, she stands in front of you and begins. An ancient race used to call the Shackleton Expanse home. Rough estimates that I've conducted date at least 600,000 years ago. But dating works oddly here in the Expanse. This race was known as the Gerlun. They worked with time and space the same way that humans worked with metal and fire. They were able to construct planet-sized stations like the Sphere, and not only did they do so, but they did so out of the densest material that Starfleet has ever encountered, neutronium. The Sphere acted as handler or a remote control for the black hole. The Gerloon would transport both a sphere and a black hole into a solar system of its enemy, and it would destroy all of the planets contained therein. They were at war with someone, but all data concerning the descriptions of their enemies has been removed from their archives. Now, actual deployment and attacks, military successes and failures remain documented, but the identity of the enemy, capital E, remains disturbingly absent. It took me the better part of 18 months to find out what I just told you. It wasn't until we got lucky. The captain, Khan, allowed me and Bork to deploy a probe line that we nicknamed Hadrian's Wall. The probes that we used worked as a network and bounced a signal between an array of 36 probes. Now, 35 of these probes would run on minimal power, and the 36th would act as the power source for all, emitting just a white noise of gamma radiation. It would blend in with the expanse. Now, the wall mainly documented the comings and goings of our friends, the Klingons, the Krogoth, and Dortos. We can pick up their cloaks, even when they're running dark, provided they pass through Hadrian's Wall. Now, 2 weeks ago, however, we picked up the transponder of a Federation craft, the USS Apollyon, a ship thought lost years ago. The craft was headed toward the sphere, but by the time we got there, it was gone. We searched a bit, and through subspace, we found several audio transmissions encrypted using Starfleet's older codes. They are far from precise and speak only in vague generalities. However, we were able to extrapolate that the Apollyon believed that the Gerloon transporter, the one that was responsible for bringing both the sphere and the black hole to this system hundreds of thousands of years ago, the Apollyon believes it still exists. Now, the person that was delivering this message identified themselves as a person by the name of Solar. I checked Starfleet records and I found an Ensign Solar, but so much of their file was redacted, I couldn't make heads or tails of whether or not this was the same person or just a coincidence. But they believed, this Solar, that if this main device could be found, the one that uses wormholes to transport planets and black holes to various solar systems, it could easily transport a craft or two the size of the USS Athena and Artemis out of the Shackleton Expanse. Those were his theories, and I agree with Solar. The border of the Expanse cannot be penetrated. It is, in the traditional sense, it has some type of time-related defense mechanism. It's what caused our frozen year, capital F, capital Y. If we can find the Gerloon transporter, we may very well be able to use it to send us back to our space through this field or bypassing this field entirely. But I don't know where the Apollyon went. You saw as well as I did the vid that was left. It was vague, heading deeper into the Expanse. I don't know which way they went. I've been running tests and it was fruitless. There's no breadcrumb trail to follow. I don't know where they went. They're the key. We can follow them. They're on the right path. We can get out. And she takes a slight step to her left and clasps her hands behind her back.
How wide was your Hadrian's Wall probe net? How far of an area did it cover?
She looks and she raises an eyebrow. 1.5 sectors, which is impressive considering that she was only using 36 probes.
But how do we know it was the ship itself? Maybe that was time, weeks ago, could be months ago. Is that possible?
Excellent question. Anything can be possible in the expanse, but I found that Hadrian's Wall, at the very least, we're able to extrapolate a definitive time measurement based upon elements crossing its path. Now, we might measure it crossing its path, and it actually occurred hours before. But if we use that and then our own passing through of Hadrian's Wall, we're able to get at least a baseline for the amount of time that has passed. I believe they are close, or they were.
Lieutenant Eva, when did you put all of this together? Was it from what you learned on the sphere or prior?
Prior. I didn't learn much on the sphere other than a basic understanding of what these Gerloon, how they put together their control panels and organize their technology. But you all have caught up to speed with me with your ability to shut down the defense mechanisms inside the sphere. I don't have any additional information to offer you that's practical, but I believe that the Apollyon does have more information. I've gone so much farther just following them than I had in 2 years by myself.
When was the last known record of the Apollyon in Federation space?
She looks back through her logs, taking the date that we entered the Shackleton Expanse and not what's transpired for us or for you since then. It would have been roughly 4 years prior.
Captain, can you look at the captain of the Apollyano and their tactics and how their captain reacts to things?
I found some data on that ship when we were doing research day before yesterday. A Miranda class. Old ship. It's, even with upgrades, it's probably not gotten far.
All of you see a big physical shift in Nat. She crosses her legs and like looks like she's holding on suddenly, like she might lose her balance, and she's staring at the captain. But it's like she's not really breathing right now.
Yeah, Elsie is looking like straight ahead, and if you paid attention, you would be able to tell that she's like focusing on her breathing. But as soon as Nat looks over at her, she stands up. I'm sorry, if you would all just excuse me for a moment. She leaves the room.
If this is something that can be felt by a Betazoid, would Varilla Evo be feeling it as well?
Yes. Yes. Severe emotional distress, like peak panic attack.
Varilla would just raise her eye, but being a Betazoid among non-empaths or telepaths, she does not reveal anything. Well, you are living also among non-empaths and non-telepaths, so you don't usually, show your poker face.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, well then you would appreciate Varilla's approach.
I always do. I totally trust her. I hit my comm badge. Dr. Alcott?
It takes a second. Yes.
So prompt. Could you please meet the captain?
Where?
Ask the computer.
The line goes dead.
Love him. He's great. He's so great. I say that in my head very loudly. Varela probably hears it. It's so loud.
There's a hint
What
of a
about-
smile on Verilla's face.
What about the Klingons? Have they been dogging you this whole way? We're continuing the meeting.
They are damnable. Khan has fought them to a standstill. Cap Khan has fought them to a standstill. We've had 14 major conflicts with them since entering the Expanse. But with Hadrian's Wall, we've been able to engage them one-on-one. They split more often than you would think. They don't stay together much. Khan hates them and they hate him. There is no respect. There is just hate between them.
Do you know why? Did it start? It couldn't have started in the Expanse. They attacked us before we even got in, before we even knew he was aboard.
I appreciate that the Cap Khan feels pressured to keep the Artemis safe, and the Klingons view us as the only prey within the Expanse that they are willing to hunt. I guess. It is, and she speaks to you as a Betazoid, it is thick with pride.
Gross.
Do we know the true reason of why they even fired upon us in the first place? Is it just a hunter-prey thing for them still, or did they have other motives?
My theory is that it was happenstance. They were looking for prey to augment their own laurels and boost their own honor among the houses that had disassociated themselves with the council. But it turned into much more with our escape into the Expanse.
As all of this,
Mhm.
as all of this is happening, Quinn is kind of just. It's almost like she's not paying attention. She has a pad and is working through something that, unless you're seated right next to her and looking over her shoulder, but not unusual behavior for her either.
There may be a chance of talking with them, because they currently believe your former whatever he was is dead.
Toba waving back and forth. The Lieutenant Commander, we should eliminate them. Hunt them.
So, no, that would be foolish.
Rule of acquisition 95. Eliminate your competition first.
Right. You probably need to not be standing on your last leg to do that.
We have the probes to let us know they're coming, correct? And he looks at Evo.
Provided they pass through the net. If they go through Hadrian's Wall, we know it.
And we could potentially expand that now that we're back together.
With the probe factory on the Athena, I could make it limitless.
I imagine that, just sort of based on rank, that I'm seated next to Soba. Is that cool with you, Steve?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
He's kind of like...
Yeah. As we're... After you speak, Quinn kind of leans over in her chair to you and says, if I were you, I would do a lot more listening than talking in this meeting.
He just looks at her and smiles. Gotcha.
Uh-huh. Okay.
The triangle people, if that's what we're calling them, the constructs. How many encounters have you had with them?
Physical encounters, the sphere was the first time. I'm not sure if that was a representation of the Gerloon, an actual example of a
The first time?
The first time, yes.
Not the second time. You weren't attacked by them on the Artemis?
No.
That's not what we were told.
I'm sorry, what were you told?
That you were attacked by them, and that's how your first captain died.
Well, I can see where they would say that, but...
No, just one person said it. Go on.
It's been very confusing. But the captain was taken to an alternate reality. It was, as he described it, a version of the Artemis. He identified these triangle Gerloon. He returned. He was able to find a way back. We had thought he was lost, but took his life shortly after returning.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
Nat reaches over to the seat where the captain had been and pulls up the triangular device. Does this look familiar at all?
No. I could examine it, and she reaches out for it.
Yeah, I don't like her. Pull it back. I don't say that I don't like her out loud.
Do you feel that?
It's a vague suspicion.
Okay.
Safety first. I think I'll have you and Lieutenant Jabez examine it together since he was also on the sphere.
Okay.
We had a similar experience with an alternate version of our ship, perhaps in another time as well. Do you know anything further about that?
The shear. That's what I call it.
The shear.
I have not been there myself, but I did interview Captain Boz when he returned. He explained a few things to me. It's striking resemblance to our plane of existence, the inability to access certain areas of the Artemis, technology failing, light sputtering. My theory is that the shear is a parallel universe, but only partially formed. It is, while sharing many similarities to our own, it is, if time were a biological entity, it is a tumor. It does not break off and form its own being. It hangs on our plane of existence, feeds off of it, takes what it needs in the form of the captain, biological life, technology, energy. They are eventually destroyed, these shears, because our timeline, if we're looking at it biologically, reacts to it the same way that our bodies would react to a virus, flooding it with white blood cells and a heightened immune response system. That's just my theory.
Why would, can you theorize based on that why someone would use such a place? Is it useful for hiding? Is there anything else you could do from it?
Roll me I want a command and a presence here to see.
Ooh.
Yeah, command and presence.
Okay, do we have any momentum? No, I love that. Cool.
Actually, no, give me a command and reason here.
What? I like presence though, because I upped that, so I'm gonna roll command presence.
Okay.
Yay! It worked. You just say things with confidence. What?
I said it first. That's right.
That's what I mean. You said it very confidently, so I believed you.
Okay.
Would interrogation or observation help in this?
Yes, observation would.
Okay. Nah.
She looks and thinks, and this is one of those things that's kind of Starfleet built in at the Academy. You can have your theories, but you only share them when you think that they're true. And this is Varilla Evo, a science officer who might have a theory, but she's unwilling to share it at this time because it's still too unproven.
Do we believe these pocket universes are being created or controlled from somewhere, Evo?
I have no idea. I have very limited experience, or I haven't had a chance to test, or I am going off of and please pardon my... When Boss returned, he was not in his right mind. I was learning more from him with my telepathy than I was with a conversation. He was very troubled.
Lieutenant Evo, Lieutenant Jabez, the sheer, for the time being, is now our top priority. If there's some time limit, if what you say is correct, then that's what we're going to work on while we remain here until we are in active pursuit of the Apollyon. I know there's much to do. You can consult with our communications officer, Olivia Wyatt. We've had her working on this without full knowledge of exactly what she's working on, but we thought it was for the best. This does not leave this room. We have people in there. The captain and I have been to this place. We have come back, but we still have people there.
Commander, the captain has been there?
Yes, that's why we weren't on the ship. She was pulled there somehow by our transporter chief, I don't think purposefully. And then I was sent there by our interdimensional hitchhiker friend.
Do we need to let the ship's doctor know so that he can make sure that what happens to the Artemis's captain doesn't happen to ours?
How long was Boss missing for, Evo?
6 weeks, but he kept saying it was 2 days. But it was 6 weeks.
We were there, I believe, less than half an hour.
Commander, I'm sorry, but from a scientific perspective, that's irrelevant. All we know is that exposure to this place caused Captain Boz to go mad.
We have no idea if there's any incubation time, how long it is, how much exposure is required. For all we know, it may take several days of exposure. For all we know, all it takes is a millisecond. An infection
Wonderful.
can
Is
spread
there
quickly.
anyone besides Alcott who could do this?
You would be happy to know that there is the emergency medical program.
Oh, praise. Is it the same one? Are they all different?
They're all the same.
No.
They're all the same.
He doesn't like me.
He doesn't like anybody.
That's.
Yeah,
except
they don't
you.
share memories, though, I don't think, do they?
No.
We don't get along, though. It's irrelevant from a scientific standpoint, Lieutenant. It's a personality clash, or
I'm in.
similarity. It might be a personality similarity. Great. We'll have the EMH start on that since Dr. Alcott is no longer privileged to classified Starfleet information. Fantastic.
Lieutenant Commander, says Varela Evo.
Lieutenant Evo?
I have a question concerning Khan.
Mm-hmm.
It is not my place. I am not among those who make decisions of this magnitude, but for years he has proven himself to us. I would request that you don't take my word for it. When he revealed himself to not be Thomas Riker, he showed us an affidavit, I guess, a proof that Starfleet knew who he was, where he was, and what he was capable of. I've uploaded it into the portrait. You'll have to go to the holodeck, though. I didn't believe him either. I held a gun to his head. And I call him Captain.
If we may ask, what kept you from pulling the trigger?
I wanted to live. At that point, I knew Khan only as one of the greatest weapons to ever been unleashed on the human race. I'm not a fighter. I'm not a soldier. I'm a scientist. But I do know that if you place two aggressive carnivores in the same spot and same territory, you will soon only have one aggressive carnivore in that territory. I wanted one of our own.
Eva, what are you saying?
I didn't kill him because I thought I could use him.
For what?
To get us home. I was wrong, though. I thought he was a madman. I'm not sure if I was disappointed or surprised when he turned out not to be.
Of course, you know the difference between genius and insanity, Lieutenant Evo.
I do.
Evil people can have friends too, Lieutenant.
Right. And that makes them evil, Ensign. He's one of the most notorious war criminals our race has ever produced.
I can't explain it the way that they can. Just load up the program from the portrait. And then do what you will with him. It changed my mind. It might not change yours. I'm not sure.
We need to get to work.
Agreed. I reach over for the triangle.
Report back directly to myself or the captain about anything that happens with it.
Consider it done.
But remember, we have people in this tumor, and Captain Locke prioritizes the lives of her crew. So we need to do that as well right now. And she turns on her heel, dismissed, and she's going to the goddamn house. Sweet.
So before I go over to the captain, I need to know what Soba, Lieutenant Kander Quinn, and Lieutenant Jabez are going to do at this moment. Or for the next several moments, but what are you going to start to do?
Jabez will take the triangle, walk over to Evo, and invite her to join me in the science lab so we can go ahead and get started on investigating this item. The sooner the better.
She readily agrees. But I will ask you at this point, Jabez, since you engaged her first, I'd like you to roll me a medicine and an insight for me, please.
Alrighty. Would collective of our experiences or reason creating direction which brings focus apply here?
No.
Okay. A 1.
With a 1, there's something nagging in the back of your collective brains that, I mean, Varilla Evo readily agrees. She falls into step, walks with a casual gait. There's something, though, that's on the tip of your tongue to either ask or to record for your own later theorizing, but is just out of reach. However, with 1 success, I'll let you roll again here in a little bit.
Okay.
Can Ensign Soba take a look at Revo? Just to kind of gather some intel of his own in his own mind of, you know, what kind of way does she lean in the ideas of telling the truth and not telling the truth so much.
Well, you're looking to see if she was lying about anything she said?
Yeah, he's kind of like looking for tells.
Okay.
Something about it doesn't sit well.
Okay, roll me a command and an insight then.
Game's a chance, potentially?
No. You don't believe that she was lying about anything that she said, and that her opinions on Khan appeared to be earnest, and that as she was describing her feelings, her words and everything didn't give a tell to the contrary. You know, a liar can see a liar and can smell a liar, and she didn't look or smell like one.
Okay, Soba just listens to somebody pushing something and tries to drive an agenda. Seems like she's planting seeds about Khan, potentially. Something doesn't sit well with him, but he's going to hopefully go to his quarters and go to bed.
You are allowed to. You are off shift, so you can absolutely go and pass out as you have been taken to the table, so to speak. Lieutenant Quinn, yeah.
Quinn's going to follow the first officer, and I imagine probably has to jog a few steps to catch up.
Yes, she's stalking as she does.
Commander, and if she's not stopping, I'm just going to fall into step.
Mm-hmm.
Commander, I'm. Are you on your way to sickbay?
No.
Forgive me. Why not? You've been exposed.
She stops. Look at my values. She turns around, doesn't say anything to Quinn. She just leaves. Fuck, Allie.
In the direction of sickbay?
Yes.
What's the value, may I ask?
There's so many, though. There are so many.
Specifically, pick one.
I mean, there's the honesty is the best policy. There's chain of command exists for a reason.
Seems like things you really can't break.
I don't know. You can.
No, but thanks for that, honey.
So before I step over to the captain, who is currently in wherever the captain is, getting ready to be confronted by Dr. Lake Alcott, I will cut to Medbay as you walk in, Lieutenant Commander. As soon as you walk in, you know, there are various interns running around through here, or the Starfleet equivalent thereof. You have to call him into existence if you...
Activate emergency medical hologram.
You hear and see the particles form. Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
Oh my God. That voice. I need to be scanned.
For what?
I don't know.
Well, that's not very helpful. Are you feeling ill? Do you have a temperature?
No, not yet.
This is confusing. Are you sick, or are you potentially unwell?
Can you just scan me for all types of radiation? Try tachyon sickness. I've had that before.
Fine. Do you have 3 hours?
No.
That's how long a full body scan will take. Now, if you could narrow it down a bit, I could probably cut that time significantly.
Try, alternate reality subplanes of existence radiation? Is there anything like that?
No.
Great.
I've always found that the problem whenever somebody that doesn't understand medicine comes into my hospital, I always ask them, how are you feeling? They usually tell me a symptom. Why don't you tell me a symptom of what you believe you have, and I will work backwards from there.
Anger. Is that a symptom?
It's a
irritation.
It's a symptom of a weak mind, but it is not a symptom of a sickness.
Greg, how am I feeling? Am I feeling okay?
I don't know.
Greg!
You wanted the EMH. You got the EMH.
Greg, how do I feel? Do I feel okay?
Do you feel mad yet?
No.
I am not a betazoid.
No, I'm asking Gregory.
You feel fine.
I'm getting the hell out of here. I hate medbay. And nobody... I'm leaving. I'm going where I was going before someone decided to talk.
The EMH doesn't seem to care if you leave or not. He's the EMH.
I'm not deactivating him.
I can always find something to get into. Hey, you! That's a finely tuned piece of equipment, not some type of harness. What were you, raised in a barn? And he walks over to somebody.
I'm going to the Hollow Suite.
To the Hollow Suite you go. Where is Captain Locke?
After she left, she headed straight for her room. As she was walking very slowly, very purposefully. And anyone that passed by her would be able to hear her just like softly under her breath. 99, 98, 97. And she's counting backwards from 100.
Well, when you hit, 23, Dr. Lake Alcott would appear wherever you are. If you've made it to your room, he would be at the door. If you're in the hallway leading to your quarters, he would meet you there. Where would you like it to be?
Hallway's fine. She keeps counting and walks past him towards her room.
He doesn't say anything but pulls out a tricorder and begins to scan you.
Oh my god. Yep, she's just ignoring him and going inside.
Are you going to allow him to? He's going to follow no matter what, but are you going to stop him from coming in, or?
No.
Okay. He follows in, and wherever you light, he is going to continue to scan. He doesn't say anything, though.
Yeah, she sits down on the edge of her bed and counts until she gets to 1.
As soon as you get to 1, he looks up. How are you feeling?
Bad.
That's a start. Define bad.
Guilty.
Okay.
Anxious. Sad. Very sad.
Okay.
I'm going to be fine. You can go.
With all due respect, I'm not in Starfleet anymore. You can't make me.
Fine, then you can just stand there.
I'm going to continue to scan if you don't mind.
Nothing's wrong with me.
You're sad. You've never told me you were sad before.
I don't know what you want me to say to that. Like,
Let's start with, why are you sad?
it's classified information.
I won't tell anybody.
I think that he's alive. Solar.
Have you told Lake about Solar?
Yes.
How's that possible?
I mean, I ran away, so I didn't see him die. I left.
No. You did what you were supposed to. It's a difference.
Like, I reported him dead. I told his family he's dead.
Okay,
And he's here. He's in the expanse.
Okay. Okay, this is a good thing. We can't be upset that someone that we thought was dead is alive. This is a good thing. Trust me, I'm a doctor. I wish that I could have a lot of people that I know alive instead of dead. It's a good thing. I'm not a philosopher. A second chance. This is, and he sits down on the bed next to you. Elsie, this is something that's troubled you, plagued you for years. You get to fix it. You understand? You get to make it right. You get to find out what happened. Close it.
I left him behind. I shouldn't have left.
You can't.
I've grieved him all this time.
Yeah. He's going to reach up and, like, basically take Elsie's chin and move it to his eyes if she's not already looking at him. Is she, or does he have to do that?
No, she wasn't.
Will she allow him to do that when he tries to, like, force her to look at him?
Yeah.
Captain, you've got to fix this now. I don't give a shit what happened in the past, what you were told to do, and how things played out. You're in charge now. You wear the red, you sit in the chair. There's a reason why this is happening to you in this place without anybody to tell you how to do it, how to fix it, or how to go about it. You make the decisions now. You're in charge.
I have other people to think about.
Not this
For
time.
myself.
I think the two coincide. Take care of yourself. You'll take care of the ship, or ships, or whatever the hell's going on. No one tells me anything anymore.
Well, you quit.
I did. Not on you. Not on the people of this ship. Not on anyone that needs my help. I quit Starfleet to save lives.
She just takes a few deep breaths. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to I don't want to make rash decisions because I am very emotionally invested in what happens to him. And I don't want to put anyone else at risk. And I know that you say I need to take care of myself, but I can't just set everything else aside.
Would you like me to declare you unfit for duty? I'm not sure that Lieutenant Commander would listen to me, but I can make the recommendation. Or, do you want to find him? You keep saying, I left him to die, I said he was dead. My suggestion is don't do it again.
I think I just need some time by myself. If that's okay.
Fine.
Don't be mad at me.
I'm not. Not at all. He stands
I'll
up
be
and
fine.
moves towards the door. Just, call me if you need anything. Drink some tea. It looks like you're getting a cold.
Can you come back in an hour?
Is that an order?
I thought you said I couldn't give you orders.
I'll make an exception.
I'm asking you.
Then I'll be here in an hour.
She nods a little bit.
He'll walk out.
She just lays down and has the biggest cry of her fucking life.
Okay, so as we pull out of the captain's quarters, I'm assuming we're going with Lieutenant Commander Nealon and Lieutenant Quinn to the Hollow Suite?
She's not invited.
Okay. I didn't know if she was trailing you or what's going on, but yes.
I did my due diligence, mostly, and I'm going to the Hollow Suite.
Okay. You walk into the Hollow Suite. It is a bit smaller than the one that you would see on a Galaxy class craft, but same type of strange cubing and grid-like patterns.
I'm gonna load what Evo told me to.
Okay. It takes a few moments, and as it kind of pulls out and pulls back in, you are standing in what looks or what appears to be like a penthouse in a large unnamed city. There are two people in front of you. One of them is in a hover wheelchair, and the other is an older Vulcan. The one in the hover wheelchair, who is a human, very, very old, but still dressed in a Starfleet red with the collar folded over a bit with the gold trimming of an admiral, looks around through wrinkled and squinting eyes. Where am I? And then he turns and looks at Nat. Dr. Leonard McCoy, Admiral Starfleet, retired. And the Vulcan looks at you. Spock, ambassador for the former Federation Starfleet science officer aboard the USS Enterprise. How may we assist you?
I suppose I don't know where the actual walls in here are, so I cannot bang my head against them. Question, how would I, she's asking this aloud, how would I know if something like this had been doctored?
You're asking the computer this?
I'm asking those two.
How something would be doctored.
Yeah.
This is an encoded Starfleet encrypted hollow suite. Ask us
Right.
questions, and we will respond. I'm assuming you could give it to your engineer if they're worth their salt.
Yeah, we'll be doing that. So, Khan,
You met him.
Yeah, too many times.
You see, that's why we were brought together. They came to tell us that they had found Khan Noonien Singh. And I'll tell you this, the bastard looks just like he did when we first saw him. Now, I know you're distrusting, so I won't ask you to trust me, but encoded within this message is the data that I found. He is Khan Noonien Singh in every conceivable way. Physically identical. I even used preserved tissue samples from the late 20th century, and they were an exact match. I checked for cloning, genetic selection, and manipulation. I found exactly what I should. The sloppy work of the 1990s that somehow resulted in the greatest megalomaniac in humanity's history. Every damn thing was perfect and not too perfect. I like too perfect. Too perfect means a lie. But this was just messed up enough to not be nature and not be God. It's shitty science that somehow worked for Khan Noonien Singh. Biologically, down to the last atom, he is our enemy.
Right. So that I didn't question that at all. That wasn't my question.
What is your question, Lieutenant Commander?
So I have orders from you to arrest this man and bring him into Starfleet. I have orders from you. I wrote it down. And now I'm being told something rather different.
As soon as you say that you have orders from him, you see an almost skip in the projection of both McCoy and Spock. It's subtle. It's as if both of them shift to the left about an inch, and McCoy's eyes narrowed and lined open a bit. Nealon.
Yeah.
Nealon, this was recorded after I gave you the orders for Khan.
Great. Good.
I am with you. I do not trust this bastard at all. But my colleague shares a different view. Fancy that.
Uh-huh.
Spock is staring out the window at this unnamed city.
And what would that opinion be?
He turns around. I do not disagree with Dr. McCoy.
About the bastard thing.
Dr. McCoy is eliciting an emotional response. I do not share his emotional outlook on Khan.
Mr. Cora. Okay.
I believe that the entity claiming to be Khan Noonien Singh is an identical match for Khan Noonien Singh biologically. However, I conducted an extensive interview and examination of his psyche, and my findings, simply put, were fascinating.
When was this interview conducted? Post him hijacking the Reliant and all that fun stuff.
About 3 months after the events of...
Cool. Tight. Yeah. All right. So he was literally going after the exact same thing he did before, but you think he's different somehow.
I do not believe that he is Khan Noonien Singh. I believe he thinks he is Khan Noonien Singh.
What does that mean?
It means whatever entity looks, talks, behaves, like Khan Noonien Singh, is not the megalomaniac from Earth's 1990s.
Could you try rephrasing that in a different way?
I do not believe he is our enemy.
Why?
He possesses the appearance, he possesses the physical prowess, mental acuity, but he is not of the same bent as Khan Noonien Singh.
Why?
Because I read his mind.
Why does he exist in the first place?
Would you like my theory?
Yes.
Very well. My theory is that with the introduction of the Genesis effect, his body was atomized, as was his psyche. I believe that he, or whatever he has become, put himself back together the way he believed he would go. But like a puzzle with many pieces, he missed a few. I believe that the ones that he missed are the ones that made him evil.
Oh, that's convenient.
I believe so as well.
So, updated orders regarding the entity known as... I'm muted. So, updates regarding the entity known as Khan Noonien Singh would be...
Khan Noonien Singh was placed aboard the USS Artemis to serve as the de facto first officer under the guise of Thomas Riker. From behind you now, you hear a cough from the chair.
What?
Leonard McCoy, gestures you closer.
She's got a fucking migraine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she walks over.
Starfleet found themselves a great big dog. And with the Borg, they want to keep all their great big dogs on a leash so they can turn them loose when the cubes come.
I knew I liked you when I met you. I liked you when I met you. So, you put him on a ship that was going to be decommissioned as what, like a test?
I didn't put him anywhere. My suggestion was to euthanize him. But this one, he suggested a form of what? Is this your Kobayashi Maru again? No, the Kobayashi Maru is a no-win situation. This, I was hoping for the opposite. I was hoping for a win. We wanted to see how he performed as a member of a crew. He appeared to be doing well before we were informed of this Shackleton expanse.
Okay, well, he wasn't. He was accessing classified information that Thomas Riker should not have had access to, but sure.
It's as if the holograms are thinking about something, but they don't have a response for it.
So, the captain of the Artemis died, and he was on his first outing, on his first puppy dog outing. Now, was technically the captain of the Artemis, and that's we're all fine with that.
It was brought to our attention by Lieutenant Virilla Evo that the events that had transpired aboard the Artemis led to the promotion of Lieutenant Thomas Riker Khan to the captain's chair. It was an unfortunate bit of examination. By all accounts of the records that were shared with us, he has performed admirably.
What? Shared with you, hologram, you?
Yes, I am not real.
Right. So he's not officially Starfleet.
I am an ambassador, and I am also a hologram that you are speaking to. I'm programmed to respond the way that Ambassador Spock would, as he is programmed to respond the way that Leonard McCoy would respond. You're goddamn right!
Yeah, programs aren't people. So, is he officially Starfleet or not?
That is subjective. He never went to the academy. He never passed the Kobayashi Maru. He was never assigned or given his commission. However, Starfleet Command believed that he should hold the rank of first officer aboard a Starfleet vessel. It is
That's idiotic.
Judgment call.
That's insane. That's a bad judgment call. It's bad. Objectively.
They turn and look at one another. And then McCoy says, "Don't look at me. I agree with her."
Is there any other information about this situation that I should be made aware of?
Is your current rank Lieutenant Commander?
Why?
The information that I hold is only for captain's rank or higher.
I mean, they don't know. Quiet. I'm thinking. I'm looking up my values. I'm
I'll just have a drink. Go right ahead.
I'm just going to steer silently. It's fine. I can't do it. Captain Locke.
Takes a hot second.
Sure. I wait.
Lieutenant Commander.
If you're available, could you please report to the holosuite?
I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Thank you. She just stands there, arms crossed, foot tapping.
In utter silence.
Okay, as you are on your way down to the holosuite, let's check in with Jabez. Jabez, you are beginning to... What is your primary focus here that you're doing with Lieutenant Varilla Evo?
As we get to the lab and once we get there, we're obviously setting up the equipment to analyze what it is, what it's made of, what it's capable of doing. I'm also, since something is nagging at me in the back of my head here, in the back of my symbiont about her and her way she's acting, I'm trying to mentally analyze her visually without being massively obvious that that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Still just one.
Nagging. It's just... something that looks like, feels like you should know the answer to it. It's not concerning, so to speak, as much as it is irritating.
While we're doing all this setup, is there a way I can, in a way that she can't see it, I can rig some sort of device to do a tricorder scan on her while we're doing all of this?
Sure. Why don't you roll me? Let me see. I need something sneaky here. So let's do a fitness and presence as you are trying to be sneaky. Or I'm sorry, security and presence. Security and presence.
Okay, hang on. Let me start over here. Cancel. Presence. Security. Let's see. Probably none of my focuses will work on here, I would imagine.
Not unless you have something that equates to scanning my friends without them knowing.
Never such thing as too much knowledge?
Not in this case.
Okay. Hey.
This may be Faustian here.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, bank one of those as momentum, as you only needed 2 to be able to get the scan off. And what are you scanning for?
I'm scanning to see if I can detect anything wrong physically and possibly psychologically.
Nothing pops up psychologically. That's something that would require a much deeper scan and usually requires like a therapy type of like a counselor session or something. However, you do notice that Varilla Evo has what looks to be the beginnings of a minor cold.
Okay. All right, we proceed to get things set up for the triangle.
Okay.
And try to analyze this thing.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to set it up and basically put it in a stasis field so you can check it out from every angle, and you're going to begin a battery of tests on it just to see what you can...
Yeah.
The
primary concerns are going to be what's it made out of, what's all inside of it, and what is it actually able to do? How does it function?
Here's what I'll tell you immediately, because as soon as you plug this thing in, you realize it too is made out of neutronium. However, it doesn't appear to be as dense as regular neutronium because it would be like dwarf star material, but it still seems to at least be covered in some type of neutronium shell, making it very difficult.
Almost like a neutronium alloy rather than pure neutronium?
Correct. The scans are having it's a supposition, but the scans are having a very difficult time penetrating it. However, if you begin to just scan the outside of it, go ahead and roll me. Oh, I want a science, and what else? Let's do science and reason. Science and reason.
Reason? Science. Two successes.
So as the two of you begin to look and scan this triangle, you do realize that upon first pass, it looks to be completely solid and completely smooth. However, as soon as you continue the scans, you're able to detect minor surface imperfections, and those imperfections lend themselves to look almost like seams. Before, when you originally saw it, there seemed to be a kind of a transformative effect of the triangle where it kind of slid into position. It doesn't take much to realize that this might be a detail of that transformation, that these seams create that effect. However, there's no way to seem to activate or twist these seams, but the more times that you scan it, and you know now what you're looking for, the more of these seams kind of crisscross this triangle.
So it's not just continuous seams, they're seams that intersect.
Correct.
Okay.
There's very light ones, there's very deep ones that appear to be kind of like mainline, and as soon as you look at these, you realize the geometry doesn't necessarily add up, because there are seams on seams that if this mass twisted, it would fall apart. However, they exist.
Fascinating. All right, let's keep investigating. How you feeling, Lieutenant Evo?
I'm fine. I'm glad to be working. Glad to have something to do.
How long were you on the sphere total?
Felt like hours to me.
Just hours? Kind of like us then.
It was an unforgiving environment.
That is true. Can't argue with that. So, this Khan character, all I know of him is what I have read. I've never had to deal with him other than when we went to visit the Artemis when they reappeared.
What would you know?
How long did it take him to win you over, for lack of a better way of saying it? To change your mind about him?
Who says I'm won over?
Well, fair enough. So basically, following because you have to rather than because you want to?
No, he
To survive?
proved himself. He saved the ship several times over. I won't take that from him. It's hard to reconcile your own beliefs with something that has been told to you, taught in classrooms. He's Khan Noonien Singh. It's tough to see past that.
Yes, I can more than understand that. All right, so we got seams upon seams here. Any speculation on your end on what's holding this big block of neutronium together?
I don't know, but I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, well, as they said in the old ancient Chronicles of Narnia, further up and further in.
She smiles. Right away, Mr. Thomas.
All right, let's keep scanning.
As your scans continue and you all are throwing everything you can in your science bucket at this thing, we're going to skip over to the quarters of Ensign Soba. So you've been asleep what feels like about 5 to 10 minutes, because it's been about 5 to 10 minutes when you hear your door give that chime, that whistle. Weird.
As he awakens, is he still inebriated?
Oh yeah, you've not slept it off yet.
He stumbles. Who is it? And he stumbles over to the door to hit the door. They're like the look of anger almost. What do you want?
As the door opens up, the hallway beyond is empty. There is no one there, and the lights are flickering.
Oh no. And he starts to come out. Hello? Hello? And he comes down the hallway. Steps out. Computer. Who was just at my door?
No response from the computer.
And if you could see the look of terror probably in his eyes, because he already heard about what has happened to everybody else. He listens for noises.
Okay.
Anything.
Yeah, roll me security, and I'm going to take a presence here. No, a security and an insight. Security and insight, please.
Big fan of living?
Yeah, definitely. You just assume that that's a focus until I tell you otherwise.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. I didn't hit it. Damn it. Oh, well. Who cares? One success.
You don't hear anything.
He is going to, so which way is the lights flickering? This way?
All over.
All around.
It's not leading in one, like it's not like trailing one direction. It's just kind of bursts and intermittent.
He looks back in his room.
Your room is destroyed. You see that the bed is toppled and broken. You see that the desk that you have in there that's standard issue has been cracked. Even the metal of it bent and rent. And you can see that there is what looks like 3 long slash marks along the outside of your door, bisecting a third of it. It seems to have been torn.
He's going to go for a phaser and try to find one.
There's none in your room.
Oh, shit. He begins to, he's going to try to attempt to head to the bridge, I guess.
Okay.
He's going to look for the captain.
Okay.
Yeah. Computer, he's going to continue to, just anything that continue to try to get.
Every time you hit your comm, instead of the chirp that is normal, you're getting a very, almost like it's got a low battery. It's like a, and no response, no answering chirp or voice.
He's going to head for the turbo lift.
You get to the turbo lift to head to the bridge, and again, the door on the turbo lift looks like it has been torn like so much paper. It's been rent, as you can see that there is a slash that takes the deck number off of the front of the door, and what once would have slid closed can no longer do so because a good half of one door is missing and a quarter of another door is missing.
How big are the marks? Like
widthwise or lengthwise?
Lengthwise.
The length of the door.
Widthwise.
Widthwise, about 2 inches. You can
he recognize anything in his mind that would make those kind of marks?
Why don't you roll me a medicine?
No. This could be horrible.
A medicine and an insight.
Oh, okay. Big fan of living.
Yeah, keep hitting the, just spam big fan of living.
One success.
You're not sure, but if you are a betting Ferengi, which you are, you would think that this was done by some type of claw or talon.
Is it above or below the marks? Where do they look like they came from? How?
It starts at the top of the door and goes down to the floor, and it's just either cut into the metal or completely takes a chunk of the door out of the way.
Soba's head starts to spin. Not good. He's trying to think fast. He needs to find somebody. Hello? And he screams out.
As you yell out, you have that disturbing effect of the Hello, 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 as it echoes through the turbo lift and out into the vacant hall.
Damn it.
Damn it, damn it, damn it.
Is there any way he can get to another deck?
The turbo lift is open. There isn't an elevator in it, but you do see the rungs for the ladder. Yeah.
Okay, I'm assuming the bridge is up, correct?
The bridge is up.
He's going up.
Okay, so as you begin to climb, Intoxicated Soba, roll me a fitness and security. Because you are not at the bottom of the ship. You are...
I would so regret not taking things with fitness.
It's slow going, but you see the darkness extending beneath you in the turbo lift, and above you, you begin to climb as you see the numbers and the levels and the decks begin to ascend as you climb towards the bridge. And as you are climbing...
Continue listening for noises.
Sure. Well, then roll me one more security and presence as you...
You mean insight.
I'm sorry, security and insight. Get away, presence card. You are...
Two successes.
You're climbing up, and, you know, for a while, there's that background drone now, the kind of distance of the lighting and the electrical failures and kind of sputtering. But then you hear what sounds like something very heavy dropping on a floor above you. And then nothing.
Is the turbolift door still closed, or is it smashed open? Can I tell above me?
As you're climbing up, each level that you get to, it seems that the turbolift doors have all been ripped open the same way that the one on your floor has.
All right. Somebody would hear that, and it is now a change of plans here. He needs to get to a shuttle bay, into a shuttlecraft, and get the hell out of here.
Okay, well, that's down.
Yeah, he's gonna start going down. He no longer wants to go up once he hears that. He wants to get to a shuttlecraft and get out of there.
As soon as you contemplate this plan and the 180 from bridge to shuttlecraft or shuttle bay, with one last glance up towards the bridge, it is that last glance that gifts you with the smear of almost oily obsidian reflectiveness that takes the place of the jet black. And as the energy, you see what looks to be this glossy, shined black surface appear and disappear as it moves and begins to climb vertically down the shaft towards you. It is about the size of a hippo.
I want to do a video game slide down the ladder. I press I'm going to hit the left
your left bumper
L3 button, left bumper, and I'm going to try to slide down this ladder.
Fitness and security.
Oh my God. I'm going to use determination here, without a doubt.
Okay, fitness and security. Determination gives you 2 successes.
Yes. 1 success, so I got 3 successes.
Okay, so with it being 3 to continue your descent without falling off the ladder, you do that, but as you slide, you realize this whatever this is matching your descent. It's not getting closer, but it is not getting farther away either. As we cut back to the hollow deck.
I'm here. You're muted.
That's what I get for trying not to
So passionate.
my button sound on my fucking Yeti. Hi. I just realized I probably technically didn't need to call you. because he was dead for a second. So technically I had a field promotion to captain, and I could have just asked myself, but I'm really glad you're here.
I'm sorry?
They need a captain. They have information. And
okay, here I am.
Yep, there's a captain. Technically a captain because he died. So, and he is incapacitated currently and not fit for duty. So, hi.
Spock would look at Captain Locke. And your name is?
Elsie Locke.
Again, there's that brief kind of half-inch shift to the left as they kind of reset. Captain Locke, it is a pleasure to meet you.
You as well. What am I here for? What information won't you tell Neelan over here?
I believe one of your officers wished to know classified information on Khan Noonien Singh, or I believe it was anything else we know about this subject.
I'm excited to hear it.
Son of a bitch. I used more colorful language.
By all means.
The Starfleet Council has placed several high-risk operatives throughout Starfleet in an attempt to prepare for the invasion, potential thereof, of the entities known as the Borg.
And who are these individuals?
Khan Noonien Singh, the being known as the Traveler. And
there was 2 separate listings, yes?
Correct.
And that's it.
It is not.
And?
Continue.
The being known as Wesley Crusher.
And?
He seems to stop. You have to be the rank of Admiral for me to proceed.
I'm sorry, I blacked out for a second. Could you repeat the last sentence?
You have to be the rank of Admiral for me to proceed.
Even in case of an emergency. Crew life.
Has something happened to Starfleet Command? And from the chair you hear, "Tell him yes!"
Yeah. No, stop. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change it.
She thinks for a very long moment. These are dire situations that we're in right now. We need all the information we can get. We are the only Starfleet out here, and I am the highest ranking officer.
Very well. You will find contained within this file the plans for the Genesis device. Starfleet is planning to use it against the Borg.
And that's all.
Yes, they believe that it will undo what has been done.
Question. So you placed Khan in Starfleet 3 months ago. When did you place Crusher?
Wesley Crusher was placed... It seems like he's accessing something. I do not know.
Who placed him?
Wesley Crusher was a cadet within the academy, and he starts giving you the...
No, Paul, stop.
Who placed him?
Starfleet Command.
Who? Do you know? Can you access it?
Starfleet Command.
Any particular individual within Starfleet Command?
Starfleet Command.
Incredible.
This is wrong, Captain.
It's just a bit of information we don't have access to, and that's okay. We know. That's enough.
It's...
Excuse me, you said that Khan, of course, was placed by Starfleet. If we abandoned him in the Shackleton Expanse, what would be... Would we be reprimanded? Given this was not information we were privy to.
Spock looks like he's going to begin to answer, but you hear from the chair instead. He's a weapon. A bunch of scientists and explorers realized that they didn't carry a big enough stick with them into the void. So they found a stick. Khan. If you get rid of him, they'll be stickless. Stickless cowards.
Would it be a recommendation then that he be left alone?
My recommendation is to kill him.
That's a bit extreme.
Is it?
Is it? Yes, it is. So you don't know, or you won't tell us who exactly signed off on Crusher. Who exactly signed off on Khan?
Starfleet Command, probably.
Is it Starfleet Command?
Starfleet Command.
Perfect.
This is Captain, may I speak freely?
Of course.
This is bullshit.
Lieutenant Commander, there is nothing we can do about it here.
Roll me
I'm gonna lose my mind.
Roll me a security, and I'm gonna have to say I need an. I think it's gonna be insight here.
Love it. Love
Both
it.
of us, or just
You can both.
just
You can
Nat?
both. You can both roll.
Well,
Okay.
insight. I mean, no.
Insight and security?
Observation.
Wow, I'm really good at that.
Interrogation. anything
Observation, 100% here.
else. What time is it? Great.
What about deception?
I'll take it, but technically.
And you roll first.
Okay.
3.
Hold on.
Ooh.
1.
I'm using the momentum we got.
Also, don't forget I can give you a reroll because I'm here for you.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just can't give myself a reroll. Not inspiring enough.
Bullshit. What a dumb roll. and because I'm so
The
good
session's
at
almost over. Use your
I know, I'm using
determination.
my determination too.
Like, fuck it. Why didn't I do
Yes.
that?
3.
Can I use my determination too?
And I'm gonna re-roll those.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna re-roll those.
I'm using my determination.
Screw
Pretend I
you
did.
all. Screw you all, you lying holograms. Yes, so I re-rolled 2 of those. Yes, I have an applicable focus. So it's the same goddamn thing. So
Okay.
1, 2 plus 2 is 4.
4.
Very good.
3.
So-
Take your threat.
So both of you, it seems that the focus, if you were a program writer for this hologram program, it looks as if Spock is the one that has been programmed to give you the most information, and that McCoy might be there for validity's purpose. You know, both of these people have had experience with Khan, but Spock is meant to draw your eye. However, the two of you notice that on the panel in front of his holographic wheelchair, or his hovercraft wheelchair, the extended and kind of palsied and arthritic finger of Leonard McCoy seems to be tracing something.
What is he tracing?
What is it?
What is it?
What is it?
When you get close, he is simply tracing the number 3 and the number 1. And that is where we're going to end this session of Star Trek Continuing Mission. Yay! Da, 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 da. Fantastic. And next week, we're going to be starting with my chief engineer, who was kind enough to message me during that and said, I'm just going to be fixing shit, Greg. Go ahead and get to everybody else because Allison's the GD best. Thank you very much, Allison. I appreciate that. I appreciate you,
Of course.
sending me that message. But we are starting with Allison next week. As we go around and talk to everybody, let's talk to the captain first. Captain Locke, how are you?
I'm suspicious. I have a lot of thoughts. Wikipedia is already telling me things. Thank you, Wikipedia. But yeah, I had a great time. So fun. Love being stressed about my dead best friend. Not dead best friend, just kidding. So good. Can't wait for next week. I am Summer. You can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. That's where I tweet about everything that I've got going on. I'm going straight into a game of Ryutama right after this. Totally different vibe. Super cute. I play a sheep herder. Technically a geep herder. They're half goats, half sheep. It's really fun. So if you want to see me do that, it's over on Anaris' channel, ANARISIS. That's right. Yeah, super great. See you guys next week.
Thank you. Let's go over to Hawk. Everybody, I took us too late, so if we could speed up outros, that'd be awesome. Hawk, how are you doing, buddy?
Oh, doing good. You can find me, KY Hawkeye, on all of the usual social media sites except Facebook. I don't do Facebook. You'll find me here on Twitch several days a week, either on my own channel streaming games or bouncing around to other RPG things. Otherwise, Cancer Cleric by day, RPG fanboy by night. Had a great time and hope to try to see if I can split the seams on this triangle to figure out how it might help us.
Fantastic, my friend. Fantastic. And Allison, who said like 6 things and then was awesome. Allison, how are you doing, my friend?
I am awesome. I am just so glad that I don't have to make any decisions that have anything to do with Section 31. Y'all enjoy all those pips, because I'm just doing what I'm told. Y'all know where to find me. I'm at Allison Robinson with 2 L's and a Y on Twitter. All my other stuff is there. Check me out, and I will check you all out next week.
Thank you, my friend. As we jump over to Steve. Steve, how are you doing? Soba's in great shape.
I really wish I would have took a lot in fitness. I really do, because this has been nothing but Soba has been in literally disaster after disaster. So blast. Catch me tomorrow. I cannot wait for tomorrow. Monday, Realms Remembered. I'm a completely different character than this little sneaky, slimy Ferengi. So, had a blast. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, buddy. And finally, Lauren, how are you doing, my friend?
She's doing great. Can't you tell by looking at her face?
Back to me.
Lauren, Salty Ginger. I play games here. Bye.
Fantastic, everybody. And my name is Greg Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team here on the Twitch. We have Realms Remembered coming tomorrow night, Realms Remembered at 6 p.m. Eastern, followed by Bad Moon Rising at 9 p.m. Eastern, IDM at 6, Lauren GM's at 9, and then back around the horn on Wednesday at 8 p.m. for DM Dawn, who will take us through May Black Roses Bloom, our Dragonlance D&D 5e epic. And then right back here next Sunday. I have a couple things popping up. I'm sorry. Our very first Outbreak Undead is this Sunday afternoon. We are going to have... Friday. Sorry, Jesus. Friday afternoon, 12 p.m. Eastern to 2 p.m. Eastern. We have Susanna and Charlie and Pope and Matt and just Jason. So everybody's going to be going in against vampires this time. It should be fun, but I have to get Summer out of here. I love you all, Legion. You're awesome. Thank you for being here for all of our
The common cold's been eradicated in this Star Trek universe by this time.
Gee, I wonder why they have a cold then.
I don't know.
Okay, everybody, as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll that 20, but you can always role play, especially with your friends. Bye!